friends, guess what? We made it. It is kickoff week. And before we get into why we're here, I've realized that many of you don't know who I am, so I'm going to take a moment to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Melanie. I am a wife, a mother, budding yoga instructor, and newly 41-year-old that is going through perimenopause. Yay! So over the past year, I've been navigating that roller coaster or emotional roller coaster that is perimenopause, and I've come to trying to embrace that new phase in my life, but I've also realized that there's no cure, right? As much as we don't want to, we are going to go through this phase in our life as women. But I have come to find that there are many practical day-to-day habits that I can adopt that will really help ease or cope with some of those symptoms that we experience. Now, I am incredibly grateful to be here at 41 because those of you that know me, that grew up with me, knows that there are many, many questionable decisions that I made in my younger years, and I am incredibly fortunate to be sitting here today. I'm going to the doctor. I'm doing what I need to from a medical standpoint to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. Um, Mama still needs some support. Maybe you need some support. So over the past year, I've worked to explore a variety of creative outlets and experimented with different self-care practices that I've come to find have truly brought me joy, especially on those days when I am just really emotional, maybe crying over the smallest things. Ladies, please tell me you know what I'm talking about. Um, but now that I've found those things that work for me, if I stick to them, um, I want to document my journey. As I create this sustainable self-care routine, one that's not only easy for me to stick to, because I'll be the first to admit, sometimes when things get hard, especially for some reason now in this phase of my life, um, I can easily kind of push it by the wayside. So while I work to create this routine that's easy for me to follow, I'm hoping that it also offers some ideas to anyone out there that may be looking for that same balance. 2025 is all about embracing the things that I love. So that means yoga, getting more consistent and working on my meditation, working on breathing practices, because while I did explore those things, those of you that may have tried both of those probably have found out that those aren't necessarily easy practices. So the meditation and breathing practices don't always come easily to people. And so I want to work this year on getting more consistent and better with those practices. Camping trips. So I am going to take you guys along on the camping trips that we go on, as well as my personal all-time favorite thing to do, and that is nature walks. So you're going to be out there with me, the hubs, and Gunner, my dog, which you've probably already seen in some of my videos if you've been kind of taking a peek at my YouTube. It's not big, but we're working with what you got. or with what we got. So you'll see a lot of those nature walks with two of the people I love. Hopefully, if you'll get lucky, if I get lucky, we'll also see some nature walks and adventures with my sons as well. Um, so yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. And living in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains means that there are endless opportunities for outdoor adventures. And I really cannot wait to get into all of that with you guys. So make sure that if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and follow along for these videos. Now, as I promised in my daily yoga tips, my goal is really to keep this authentic, real life, both the highs and the lows. So while you'll see plenty of the really good moments, I'll also be open to discussing my struggles along the way because let's be honest, I have good days and I have bad days. And I don't think that it's going to be a true depiction of what we experience without seeing both the good and the bad. Um, so why am I sharing this on YouTube? I think by sharing this on YouTube, I'm aiming to hold myself accountable, if that makes sense. I'm really accountable for my overall wellness. Thanks to a lot of the preventative care that I've been going through with my doctor. I have some not serious health issues, but just some things that I really need to start working on improving. So I'm anemic, so that one's new to me. So trying to make sure that I'm eating better, things like that. So just really holding myself accountable to my overall wellness. And my hope is that by the end of 2025, I'll be able to reflect on any meaningful personal growth that I experience. Um, maybe this will help me look back and uncover any patterns that might not immediately be obvious, that we pick up on, but things that we can see throughout time, those patterns that we have. Some people find journaling works very well for them. I've tried that. I think it's something great to use, but for me, I don't know. I just can't seem to sit down long enough and kind of write down that free flow thinking. I can do it in video. So I think that's why I decided to go this route rather than kind of a more personal route in writing it down in a journal, I mean. I want to reflect on any challenges that I've faced and then also celebrate those triumphs that we have along the way. And this isn't just about documenting my experiences, it's more about embracing growth and learning from the process and maybe helping you guys find your process, along the way. So here's to a year of self-discovery, resilience, and, celebrating life's victories, both big and small. So now I'm going to share some of the things that, I've put together, that I'm reading, working on, putting into my routine so that if this sounds like something that you want to join in on, you can have a starting place and join along with me in this journey. I think my hope is, to find community as well. Being an introvert, it's very difficult for me to open up to people and develop those long lasting relationships. I do have a handful that I cherish, um, but I also realize that when it comes to the yoga community, I don't have much support there. So I'm also looking to find those other fellow yogis, maybe new yogis that are starting out, that want to create that community as well. Okay, so a few things that I am using. You don't have to use this stuff, just things that I'm sharing along the way. I will say that first and foremost, I am not sponsored by anything that I'm getting ready to share with you guys. These are just things that I have found that I love, and that help me. So the first thing is um, routine, right? I have a very hard time keeping to a routine, especially a morning routine. It's very chaotic. I think my life in general is just chaotic. So I really want to find some structure in my morning routine to kind of get me started off in a better position throughout the day. So, um, the first thing is a meditation practice, right? It doesn't have to be long. It can be 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I typically stick to about a 10-minute meditation practice. Um, so that is the first thing that I want to start off with um, during the day. And I will tell you, I started this earlier this week on my 41st birthday. Um, and so far, one day I fell off the routine. So it's really about getting back on that saddle, so to speak. The next thing is working on breath work, otherwise known as pranayama. So, along in my vlog entries, you are also going to see videos uploaded where we do a breath work practice. So far, I've started with a lung strengthening practice because I am a smoker. That's not something that I'm quite ready to give up yet. So I really need to work on helping with my lung capacity. And then, of course, yoga. And again, yoga, like meditation, does not have to be an hour-long practice. I typically like to do a 10 to 20-minute practice in the morning, and then in the evening, after I've had some sustenance, some protein, things that's going to help me along the day, then I will typically go into a 30-minute to maybe an hour practice. Now, if you put your breath work, meditation, and yoga practice together, that can very easily fall into a 45-minute to a 75-minute practice. It really is all about what you want to achieve. And then finally, for the morning routine, instead of getting up and starting off with coffee, not eating, and really going until probably about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon until I eat, part of my routine for the morning is really implementing breakfast as well. So that's meditation, breath work, doing a little yoga practice, and then implementing that breakfast and coffee. Maybe you're not a coffee drinker. That can be tea, really anything that works for you. And I'll say that there's not one right way to take care of yourself. There are so many different ways. It's really about exploring and finding out what works for you. So when I do eat breakfast, I typically don't eat the healthiest. My sugar intake is probably pretty extreme, so that is something that I would like to at least cut down on, if not completely cut out of my diet. So I've also listed a few healthy things because I do have high cholesterol, low bad cholesterol. So I'm working with my doctor to also implement um, a better diet. So some of the things that I've found that I enjoy for breakfast that is more on the healthier side, um, avocado toast. That is one thing, probably one of my favorite breakfasts. I've always been an avocado fan in general. So then adding it to toast in the morning really works um, for me to start out the day. And I don't put anything in my avocado, no salt, no pepper, nothing like that. It is just a fresh avocado on preferably wheat toast or whole grain toast, but white toast works just as well. Again, it's your preference. Um, the other great things to eat in the morning that is really good for your cholesterol or heart is oatmeal, or if you prefer more of a colder type of oatmeal, overnight oats. And what I like about both of those options is you can really put anything that you want in those. So if you're a sugar addict like me, you can replace the white sugar, brown sugar with things like honey, which is a healthier sweetener. Of course, you still want to do that in moderation, but I really have liked switching to honey rather than the normal sugar that I used to previously put in my breakfast cereals. Chia seed pudding and fruit. Another great thing that I like to eat really any time of the day. It doesn't have to be in the morning. Egg whites, bran muffins, fruit and yoga, but again, making sure that we're going for the unsweetened yogurt that is more healthy for you. And then again, if you like that sweet, adding things like fruit, honey, um, any kind of nut butter that's going to help give that that flavor that you're looking for. So that's my morning routine. Really love to hear what you're implementing or what you do for your morning routine, because you might have some routines that I haven't thought of that maybe I want to implement in my morning routine. Okay, so switching gears to some of the things that I use for my yoga practice, and then just reading in general, because reading makes you smart. So let me backtrack for a minute. I have replaced my social media scrolling for reading. So part of my self-care practice is removing all social media from my phone. So while you'll still see me pop up on social media, it's only on my computer now, and I'm not on my computer that often. So that really helps me to cut down on that scrolling time, because what I have found over the last year of my self-care exploration is that social media is not good for me. If you are someone who struggles with CPSD or CPTSD, social media can be bad for you. It's very easy to fall into the comparison game and really, I don't want to say facilitate, but really, I think it encourages the negative self-talk. Um, so I've had to remove that off of my cell phone. Not something that you have to do, but again, it is a personal choice. And okay, So, since I have replaced the social media scrolling with books, these are the things, the books that I will be going through throughout the year of 2025. Again, I am not sponsored by any of these, but if you want to follow along with this journey, these are some things that I am reading, and I would love to have people to talk about what we're reading with. Um, so I try to stick to things that educate me, that provide additional knowledge in various passions that I have. And then I like to keep something just for pleasure reading. So when it comes to my yoga practice and um, improving my skills as a yoga teacher, and one thing that they don't teach you in your 200-hour YTT is how to successfully sequence a yoga class. So I got a lot of recommendations on this book. So, as a yoga instructor, if you're looking for additional help sequencing your classes, wanting some structure behind that, this is a great book to start off on. It's a mix of an easy and a hard read. I guess it really just depends on your passion because yoga is a big passion of mine. I have found this to be a fairly easy read. I'm not too far into it. I did kind of jump around a little bit, but I have decided to start from the beginning and kind of do it a chapter by chapter or section by section to make sure that I'm really retaining what I'm reading, because those of you struggling with perimenopause probably know that stuff just disappears out of your brain so easily. Now, if you like science behind your belief systems, your exercise practice, this is a really, really great book for the science behind the yoga asanas or the yoga poses. It has really, really great pictures, as you can see, and definitions, descriptions on which muscles are really being worked and utilized throughout various different yoga poses. So again, if you like the science of yoga, great read right here. And I usually use that along with my yoga book. If I want to get a deeper understanding of a yoga pose, because I do spend a lot of my personal practice at home rather than going to classes, um, I like to utilize that book. Now, if you are not a book reader, you're new to yoga, and you want to learn these poses, there are many different yoga decks out there. I have two, but this is the one that I have been utilizing the most, the Play Pause B. Really like these cards. I'm even thinking about maybe getting into a series where we break down a yoga pose and really learn how to use it. So as you can see, these cards are really great for showing you what the pose looks like, and then it gives you a little bit of guidance on what to engage or how to cue that yoga pose if you are a yoga instructor. So again, just one of those great tools that I like to use along my yoga practice. Continuing with the yoga practice, another option that you have for great detail from one of the greatest yoga masters, in my opinion, Light on Yoga by BKS Iyengar. This is another great book that is going to walk you through the proper alignment, positions of these yoga poses. Um, Now, if you are into the spiritual side of yoga, because yoga is not just a physical exercise practice, it is really a life practice. So, if you are interested in that side of yoga, I highly recommend getting the Yoga Sutras by Patanjali. Really, really great. This one has commentary because these sutras are in Sanskrit, so this helps um, provide an interpretation of the Yoga Sutras. So really great to go through. I went through this with my YTT. It's been over a year since I graduated. Um, and I've noticed that being out of class, I've kind of fell away from the teachings of the Yoga Sutras. So I want to start going through it again, and getting reacquainted with those sutras and working to implement those sutras into my life, into my self care routine. We've got one more for our educational piece throughout 2025, and then we'll get into what I'm reading for just personal pleasure. And then I think from there, we'll wrap it up for this particular kickoff video. So I am starting the year out with, again, something else that I'm interested in. So, the zodiac is something that I'm very interested in. I follow very closely to who my sun, moon, and rising signs. They are to a T my personality, and kind of really helps me um, understand aspects of myself that I didn't necessarily understand before. So, throughout the year of 2025, I am going to be doing meditations, breath work, and yoga practices that are following the zodiac throughout the year. So, this is Yoga by the Stars by Jill Shipway. And I didn't start with Capricorn. I think I was a little bit late in deciding that this is something that I wanted to do for the year. So, given that we kicked this off on my birthday, which I am an Aquarius, we are starting, or I should say, I have started with um, Aquarius. So we will be doing some breath work. We will be doing the yoga practice um, through the zodiacs through the year with this book. So if you want to join me, you don't have to, but if you want to, this can be found on Amazon and any other place that books are sold. Um, I've tried, I'm going to give an honest review on everything that I use. Again, like I said, I'm not sponsored by anything that I've showed you. These are just things that I love. I will say the Yoga by the Stars so far, while I love the breath work and the meditations, some of the yoga practices feel a little bit clunky, and maybe that's just because I'm learning those routines as I'm practicing them. Maybe once, I kind of get the practices saved to my memory, I'll be able to help make it a little more flowy and feel a little bit better. But I do know many people who love this style of yoga. So I would just say, if it sounds like something you're interested in, get the book, try it out, see for yourself. And I think that kind of wraps up for what books we're going to be utilizing for our yoga practice, meditation practice, not medication practice, and overall breathwork practice. So, what am I just reading for fun? And I know this is old, and I might be old, late to the game, late to the party. I don't care. I have gotten into the Game of Thrones series. Already seen the HBO series. That's really what started my love of the series. And just through my experience, the books are always better. Um, so I've already read the first book. This year for Christmas, I got the second book. So I'm going to be going through Clash of Kings just for joy this year. I'm already pretty good through it, as you can see. I think I'm on Theon now, the Theon chapter, the first Theon chapter of this book. Really, really love it. So if you've read it, if you haven't, you want to read it, join in with me. I would love to talk to you guys about what is going on in that book, and just what it elaborates on that they hinted to into in the series, but you may have missed those pieces because of everything that is going on in that series. So really excited to get through this book so I can move on to the next one, and then probably go back and rewatch the entire series, because I think some of those pieces are going to make more sense rewatching it. And I'm an ADHD person, so it's very easy for me to rewatch a million times things that I really loved or had a profound emotional impact on me. All right, so I think that does it for the kickoff video. Again, I am so excited to have you guys here, and thank you for joining me. Like I said earlier, if this sounds like something you are interested in, subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that is going to be the only social media platform that this is put on. So subscribe to my channel. Make sure to like this video, leave a comment down below, and let me know what you guys are doing for 2025, whether you guys are going to join me or what. I like to get to know people. So share whatever you want to with me, because you're going to find that through this journey, I'm going to probably share a lot with you guys. Maybe overshare, because that's what I tend to do. But if you're into all that, I am happy to have you here. Welcome, thank you, and join this journey with me. All right, so that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for sticking along this far. Until next time, my friends, talk to you soon.